I have used many graphs to explain the urgency of what we have to do. And I must say, together with Vice President Gore and Feike and many other people, we were able to adopt a Paris Agreement, and we were able to give it a very clear direction, and also embed into the Paris Agreement the fact that we have to increase our ambition every 5 years. Very important, because those efforts that are registered in the Paris Agreement certainly are not going to keep us under 2. They, in fact, will take us maybe to even 3, and that's unacceptable. And we have to go to well below 2, hitting for 1.5, as we have heard. And so that's not the result of the efforts that are registered there. That's going to be the cumulative result of efforts over several years. But here's the piece that is not in the Paris Agreement. The urgency is not in the Paris Agreement. Because what science knows now that we did not know as clearly in 2015 is that, if you will, and I saw my favorite scientist do this a couple of days ago, so now I feel scientifically authorized to exhibit this little piece of paper, which I used to do on a graph, but actually I think the paper is much better. We are emitting 41 gigatons of CO2 per year as a globe. So have this be your 40 gigatons, okay? By the year 2020, we have to do 2 things. We have to ensure that we are not going beyond making this a bigger paper, okay? That we definitely stay within that boundary, but also that we have put everything in motion such that by 2030, 1 decade later, we can actually cut this in half. By 2030, we have to be at 20 gigatons. By 2040, we have to be at 10. By 2050, we have to be at 5. 5 is the maximum that we could possibly, under some circumstances, absorb. If not, we have to go, and this is the huge anxiety that is reigning over all of us, we have to go into something called negative emissions that we can talk about later. But do you see the drastic nature of the emission reductions that we have to take? That's not linear, that is exponential. Now, fortunately, as Vice President Gore has explained, we are dealing with exponential capacity because we can direct all our technology now and all our ingenuity to doing this. But if we don't, the human pain, the human cost, to say nothing about nature, is frankly unacceptable, intolerable, irresponsible. And we will never forgive ourselves as a human society that we let that happen.